Switching gears for now, US President Donald Trump may be pushing Ukraine and Russia to reach a peace deal as the war drags on. On the battlefield, the opposite seems to be unfolding. The fighting has intensified. Both the sides have turned their guns on what keeps the war machine running: energy. And in the latest, Ukraine struck the Unecha oil pumping station in Russia's Bryansk region. This is not just another target in Russia. It is a critical node on the Druzhba pipeline, a massive Soviet-era pipeline that pumps Russian oil to Europe. A video released by Ukraine's commander of unmanned systems forces showed a fireball tearing through the facility with entire clusters of fuel tanks engulfed in flames. Who is feeling the impact is the immediate question. It's not just Russia, but Europe. Hungary, Slovakia announced that Russian oil supplies have been suspended for at least 5 days following that strike. Both the countries are almost entirely dependent on Russian oil, and so this strike is more than just an inconvenience. In fact, Hungary's foreign minister called it another attack against their energy security. He warned that without Druzhba, Hungary simply cannot keep its economy running. Meanwhile, Slovakia facing a similar crisis, echoing those words in a joint letter to the European Commission, demanding that the EU step in and guarantee supplies. But the consequences of that strike by Ukraine on the Russian target could actually ripple further and beyond. Oil and gas revenues make up a quarter of Russia's national budget. Ukraine has made energy its target of choice, hitting refineries, depots, pipelines with drones and missiles almost on a daily basis. And the goal is quite clear. Ukraine wants to bleed the Kremlin's war chest dry. Already, Russia has reported fuel shortages in several parts, a problem that not only threatens civilian life, it also affects Russian military machine. But Russia is not staying silent. Russia has intensified its own strikes on Ukraine's energy infrastructure, deliberately targeting gas depots, electricity grids, heating supplies. And as winter approaches, Ukrainians are bracing for another season of blackouts, shortages, and freezing nights, it seems, all part of what the Kremlin calls its strategy to cripple Ukraine's war effort. And what about Europe? It finds itself trapped in the middle in a way. The EU had promised to phase out Russian oil and gas by 2027, but Hungary and Slovakia were two member countries that flatly reject that plan. They say that their economies would collapse without Russian crude. And so they have also opposed sanctions that Ukraine insists are crucial to force Russia into peace. And now, as Ukraine escalates its pipeline strikes, the very countries that are most dependent on Russian energy are the ones most at risk. On Friday, Slovakia's pipeline operator, Transpetrol, confirmed the interruption following the strike. Meanwhile, Hungary said that supplies were halted. Germany, which now relies on Kazakh oil flowing through the same Druzhba pipeline, said that its supplies remain unaffected. Now, this just shows how uneven the impact of this war actually can be across Europe. And this is not the first time Ukraine's actions have cut off Russian oil to Europe this week. The latest strike was the second disruption in just a matter of days. Attacks had already halted supplies on Monday and Tuesday. For Ukraine, each burning refinery, each ruptured pipeline is a blow against Russia's war machine. And for Russia, every drone strike is met with equal or greater retaliation. And as far as Europe is concerned, each attack is a reminder that in this war, pipelines can matter as much as front lines.